Jean, John,
They all made it.
Deb, woohoo! Oh, and is that Kaya?
What'd you forget to do, Eddie?
I forgot to go live on YouTube, but we're good now.
Oh, you mean all my hellos got missed? No!
So do we have to go hello again?
Oh, love! Did everybody hear love? We're live. We are hustling and bustling in the shop today.
And we are.
We are having a great time.
Because we let you sleep in.
No, it isn't about sleeping in. It's about letting my husband
I get it.
in.
I get it.
Sorry, guys. He does not. He says I wake him up
It's
when
all right.
I get ready at 6 a.m. and he stays up till like midnight, 1.
I get.
So he said, and I was supposed to ask about changing the show, and then I didn't, and then he was like,
But we did, so here we are.
So, yeah.
But our target audience, I mean, you're all retired anyway, so.
Sunny and blue sky in Peabody.
Nice.
I don't know where you cold, Gene. We're a little chilly.
Yeah, we have the sunny and blue sky short, but it's like 0.
It's very, I think, -4 chill factor.
Okay.
Yeah, not pretty. Okay, but glad you're here, and it's warm in the store, so
Yes.
I don't really care. So all's good.
I gotta find out, yeah.
All's good.
That. But anyway.
All right.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Shenanigans. I'm trying a new time slot today at noon, which threw me all off. I don't even have my outline in front of me.
Threw everybody off.
Would
We're
you-
in the middle of a class going on in the store, too, and Becky just
Yep.
went, whoops, sorry, gotta go to the show.
Yep. And my dad's trying to call me, but that's all right.
But they should be eating lunch now, is what I would
Yes.
say. They should be
So-
taking a break and eating their lunch.
So, yeah.
Take a break and eat your lunch.
There you go.
I told them.
So that's what's new and exciting. I'm hoping if noon works for everybody, we might be doing this more often. Probably because that if we can
It's fun because we have people in the store.
It is, yeah. And if it makes Brian happy, that's good too.
Well, it's all about making your husband
I
happy.
can. Well,
Yeah.
he hooked us up with the cabinet. So
He hooked you up with me.
yeah, this is true. So the least we can do is keep him smiling. So yeah, not a whole lot of shop news. Check the calendar for check the website for classes and whatnot.
Oh, I have a surprise shop news. Danny, could you go get me the macaw pattern? Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have started the midnight block of the month.
Oh.
Which I keep meaning to grab one. But we did start that. We've got that on the way. If you missed block 1, it's not the end of the world because you can still pick it up.
Yeah.
But check the website because we do have a couple days set aside every month, a Tuesday and a Saturday, if you want to come in and sew. If you don't, that's all right. The block's not terribly complicated, but the reason we're doing it that way is so you can, have some.
Here's block 1.
Block 1, yes.
And
Block 1.
actually,
And there's macaw too. She snuck that right in there. Look at
well,
that.
I
She's
got
so
some
good.
news I want to talk about.
So this is block 1. We've got it done.
Nice.
We've got it's $19.95 a month. It finishes out to I think 80 by 100 when it's all said and done, and it's we've got that started. But if you come in late, it's not the end of the world. So if you decide
Right.
around like April you want to do this, we can still hook you up because it's
Danny,
That's fine. What do you need?
the table toppers
Okay.
in the frosty block.
the tabletop is the frost block, and then
See,
here's my yeah, see.
but that's because I've been like.
Yeah, the tabletopper of the month should be starting Saturday.
Well,
but the kids were supposed to be in today.
I want to slow down and talk about that tabletop.
Okay,
but
well,
I'll talk about this
talk about
first.
the call, yeah.
Okay, guess what, guys? Becky has broken into this.
Okay.
Started writing the instructions for the class, which is pretty easy because her instructions are already in here. But her instructions are a little hard to comprehend the first time through. So I've kind of broken it up into little bits and pieces. The beautiful thing is we have a paper piecing class on the schedule.
Yes.
I forget when, but it's coming
Yeah,
out.
check the website. So prepared
And what
today.
I'm going to propose to Brent,
Oh.
we're
We're having a meeting.
is
Okay.
I take the first block of this, make it smaller so it's not hers exact, and I don't give you the whole recipe, we're just making one block. So the intro to paper piecing class will actually be making one of the units from macaw.
Wow, that sounds like an exciting idea.
So then if you go,
I
hate this,
You know not to sign up for it.
you can stay away from macaw. But you won't hate it. You will love it. Unless you're Danny. You will love it. And then you will be like, I'm in. Can I join macaw?
I love that shirt, Danny. That is a fantastic
I
shirt.
have to tell you that this is probably one of the best patterns by Judy Niemeyer to start with. I am so thrilled that we chose this.
It's gorgeous.
It shows a lot of techniques, and I've broken it down. It'll probably be a 7 to 8 month class because of the number of units, but 1 unit a month, and it is so much fun. I'm so
Nice.
excited. So we need to decide the fabrics because I'm using what might be different fabrics than yours.
Oh, I had an idea for that,
But
for the fabric.
I'm using the dandelion stuff, and that
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
stunning. But
We have the black and white fabric picked out
yes,
already.
we do. It's stunning. It's
Now we
stunning.
just have to have the colors
And
for it.
I'm telling you, you can be a beginner paper piecer and make this quilt.
The black and white's behind
Yeah,
her.
so it's
Yeah.
not on the calendar yet. So if you're like, oh, I got to sign up for that, we haven't scheduled it
But the
quite yet.
beginner paper piecer
Paper-
class
yes,
is
beginner
this,
paper
and
piecer,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, I think what I want to do is
Do one of those. Yeah.
do one of these because it people might be scared of doing this.
Yeah.
And you shan't be.
You shan't.
You shan't. It's really pretty. And of course, Brent, we're going to get the flying
I don't
geese.
think I ever heard anybody who's like shan't like in real life. It's like something you
I
read in a
do.
book.
Okay, so that's shop news. Paper piecing class will be a little different than last time. I
Yeah.
warned you, Danny.
It's okay.
Becky doesn't do the same thing twice.
Okay. And then you wanted to talk up the tabletopper thing
Yes, I do.
because you get the cute little here.
Okay, well, hold that up.
Well,
I
Eddie
want to
has-
tell you
Well,
about.
Eddie has a better picture up.
Oh, he
but-
does. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's the same picture.
Table
See,
toppers.
look at that
When
picture.
when they first came in, I'm like,
that
yeah,
picture.
great, yeah, great, yeah, great. You know, whoop-de-doo. But then, as I see them being made, each month teaches you something new. They are not just table toppers. I know, Brent, but they do.
Well, I know there's some different stuff going on there.
They absolutely, the first month, if you are a beginner quilter, this is the first one, right? Which won't be the first one
I don't know
because
which one they're sending, quite honestly.
it will probably be March.
I think it's the bunnies is what, according to this, that's the one
well,
that's
that's
on its
going to
way.
break up my spiel. But anyway, they're all
Okay.
technique driven. They are different techniques.
Apparently, I
different
also,
months.
we weren't supposed to start this until March, I was told.
Oh, then it will be the bunny first.
Yeah, but
You
we're,
keep
No,
messing
I
up.
think we start with April first.
yes, but what I'm saying is, I think the
Okay.
intent when Riley Blake laid it out was that they would send it to me in January, and then we'd have the class in like March.
Your kit
But-
includes the fabric. Look at how cute this is.
And what I like about this,
Look at this.
one of the kit has all the fabric,
Not the backing.
but not the back. But what's nice about the fabric
I
is
love the back.
Riley Blake is doing all of these with their basics. So if you run out of something or you need any of the fabric in there, we can order more of
Aren't
it.
they cute? And if you quilt with Becky, we're going to show you how to quilt this on your machine.
Yay!
Woo! Woo! Oh yes we are! Oh yes we are!
Yay! Okay.
I mean, we're doing phenomenal things with those
We're
luminaires
just-
these days. It's
yeah.
crazy.
And luminaires I think are going to be back in stock. Kind of like we don't need to wait for months. Probably starting next month. So if you want a luminaire, give me a holler. There's special February financing as well.
Wowzer.
So
Wowzer.
just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, we are going crazy with them. But so table toppers, they're not just table toppers. They are technique driven, and
Yeah, they've
part
got-
of your kit will include you getting some hands-on class if
because-
you need it. Some people won't need it, but some people will. So I don't want you beginners to shy away from it, and I don't want you non-beginners, I don't know what to call them, veterans
Veterans.
to be afraid of it either, because
You know, when
there
I-
is something new in them, which is
wa-
what I love.
When I was a kid, I thought a veteran and a veterinarian were the same thing, and I didn't understand why you had to be in the army to take care of dogs.
Huh?
Veteran and veterinarian, I thought they were both the same word as a kid, and
Oh, I don't know if they are, they aren't, but okay. I'm reading the
what was that
comments.
before?
It is. McGraw is awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see that first block even. Okay, so
Yeah, me either.
are you gonna do it?
No.
All right, so those are the classes coming up. That's pretty much all for show. We didn't have any new fabric come in. I did get some invoices for some nice fabric coming in.
Of course.
So keep
it's
an eye out for
bound to
that.
come, right?
And follow us on Facebook because I am trying to
yes.
start doing the box opening again. And then there was something else I wanted to mention, but I forgot.
I want to mention Frosty.
Okay.
Frosty is officially kicked off.
Yes.
There's a second session class going on right now, but it's not too late to join. It's not too late to join in the fun.
Okay.
We can get y'all caught up. Plus, there's another class coming, another session coming where we go back to session one.
My watch just told me I got the email reminder that we're going live on YouTube.
Oh, really? So don't be afraid. This is a lot of fun. You do need, if you're going to do the digitized method that I'm teaching, you do need a 9x14.
Yes, and I was just going to talk about that too. Is I just had somebody call us up that found us on Facebook on this YouTube thing from California, and she's like, "Send me a kit."
Hi.
And so we are going to hopefully do a few recordings.
We should record it.
Yeah, we are going to do some of the basic ideas. We're going to figure out how to make that happen. Because we do have some people that are going to be remote, so we are going to make
that's the other
instruction available.
I'm glad you and I are on the same page of that, because I talked to Danny about that last week too. I said it would be nice if we could record this, because lugging in your machine can be not so much fun. I mean, it's nice if you want the hands-on stuff, but some people don't need it.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be really cool, and I've been writing all sorts of instructions too.
Yeah. So if you are interested in this and you are from California,
or wherever, Deanna, you can do this
I
virtually.
want to say her name was Christine.
Right?
If you're watching, we will be putting together some instructional stuff, and we'll figure something out.
We will videotape.
Yeah, and we'll figure out how to
one
get some
way or the
remote
other.
help so that you can do it like we're doing it.
Yeah, I think we have to do some more Zoom and Zoom.
Yeah, Zoomy, zoom.
Yeah.
Zoomy, zoom,
Yeah,
zoom.
but it's a lot of fun.
We're at 400 subs.
Oh!
Today, as of today.
We hit 400.
Okay.
Okay, so
Nice.
that's everything I've got for shop news.
Okay, well, we were all over the board, but it's so exciting to be
Yes.
in here today. It really is. It's fun.
Okay.
So what's next?
So I forgot my agenda. So see, we did shop news.
must
So
be
now
quiz
it's
time.
turbo. Is it no quiz time?
I've got some good turbo
Quiz
tips
time.
today too, but quiz time. One question. What are you looking at? One answer. We're not late. One question, one answer based on last week's show. Are you ready? Because I'm not sure I am.
So it's a hard one?
No, it's in my brain, and it was embarrassing. So, last week...
now I'm curious because if it's embarrassing.
Last week, I said to Brent, I'm going to show people how to line up more than one design using our machines. And I didn't have a luminaire at my disposal. I had a dream machine at my disposal. But on top of it being a dream machine on the disposal, something happened. Something not good happened, and Brent had to shut down the machine and restart it.
Oh, I know.
And I was
remember.
like, I cannot believe this is happening on live TV. What happened last week that caused Brent, in the middle of my dog and pony, to have to shut down the machine and restart it?
I don't remember.
What happened? Anybody out there know? How
does that work? I can't do that. The Cabbage Patch?
What is that?
See, I don't think anybody.
I've been watching that Cheers show. They do that all the time. Do you see that on Cheers? They're always fake.
Cheers? Do you want Norm gets up off his
Cheer.
bar stool and
Like,
slaps?
this, rah, rah, rah. They're always slapping their
Machine
butts.
froze.
Yes, Gene and Marie.
Yeah.
Remember you were trying to, and you were pushing all the buttons and it wouldn't
yeah,
go
oh, that's
anywhere.
right. I had run into that.
And I'm like, oh, great. We're trying to tell this machine and it freezes. Yay, Gene. Oh, but Kaya got it too. But Gene's first.
Yeah.
$10 GC out to Gene.
Yes.
Now I know she was paying attention because I was like, oh
Well,
my
they had enough
gosh.
time. They probably went back and rewatched.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Okay,
That was
on
quiz.
to-
Shop. Workbench.
Quilt of the week.
Oh yeah, quilt of the week. I
And
probably
then
threw
turbo
that
tip and
out.
then workbench. Come on.
Okay.
See, that's why we have you were picking on me for not having my agenda. So we just took this off the machine today, and what's really cool about this is done with
Ooh.
the gems from
Is that-
Riley Blake.
Is that Cuddle?
Of course it's Cuddle. But what's interesting about this, and we'll get the pattern actually in the shop, but each row, or column, I guess it's a column because it goes up and down, is one fabric. So it's done with
it's the ombre.
yeah, it's done with ombre.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this is one fabric here. This is another
That's
fabric.
a pretty cool quilt pattern
So,
you put on there.
Yeah.
too.
So each column is just one fabric with an ombre.
Wow, that's a pretty cool quilt pattern, Brent.
All right. So we'll show off the quilt pattern too,
That's
because
really
I'm
cool.
awesome. That's the.
Look at
I
that.
don't know. Can you see that on there? All right.
That's really awesome.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
urban elements.
Yeah, it's
something.
It's called African maize if you like it and you want it on your quilt. But yeah, this is I really like this. It comes out nice. It's kind of a real simple design, and like I said, it's each column is just one fabric because we used an ombre.
And there's no borders or nothing.
Yep, it's just a nice modern looking quilt.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a free design on Riley Blake, so if it's something you're interested in,
Wowzer.
and we have all the this we can actually make because we have all the fabrics here to do it. So yeah, I just wanted to show that off.
Sweet. And the winner of Quilts of the Week is?
It's Danny.
Woohoo!
All right.
Free quilting from
Yay!
Danny Quilts of the Week!
Yay!
I have one picked out for one of our shows, but it's not quite ready yet.
Okay.
I have one I really want to show off.
Okay.
But
So
it's
that's
not
what. So
ready.
now
It's not quite done.
So that brings us to turbo tips.
Turbo tip. Okay. Well, sort of turbo tips.
Sort of
I
turbo
got
tips.
2 items for you. It's sort of because I lost my stuff.
Do you want me to go into a workbench where
No,
you look for
I got it. I got it. Okay. You know how I'm always trying new gizmos
Is
out.
that something I'm gonna have to order?
No.
Okay.
So this is all the rage of some people. It is a fine point marker with an eraser pen. So you can mark your material with a fine point, and then when you want to get rid of it, you have to erase it with the eraser pen. So they tell you when you buy the fine point marker, go out and get a couple extra eraser pens too. So I thought, well, Becky has to try this out, right? Yeah, you read about it. Watch this. We're going to want to go top down on this, Ed.
Advice: first test pen on fabric sample.
Yeah.
Always test pens on fabric sample. That's
Yeah, that's not my problem now.
okay.
Is that a fabric sample?
Well, I'm really using it.
Consejo de uso: antes de utilizarlo, pruebo en un trozo de tela. Demuestra algunas telas pueden contener químicos o ser de un grosor tal
So,
que
the
afecta
theory
la
is-
remoción.
The theory
That was
is
Spanish.
I take my ruler, right, and I'm going to draw a line on my fabric. So here's my pen, my pink pen, not my eraser, my pink pen.
Your pink pen, yes.
Watch this. Watch and awe.
Not you.
Okay, look at the results of my line.
That's dark.
That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is blot, 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 blot. Is that catching on the film? It is not a nice, clean line. The pen, in my opinion, leaks. I don't know what else to call it. Do you see the blots? Look at the big blot here. It blots.
Blotty blot blot.
Yeah, so not cool, in my opinion. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing, you fine point marker? See those blots? Do you see them?
Doesn't the blot kind of defeat the purpose of having a fine point?
Exactly. Okay, and then I go, all right, well, that's not my favorite marker anymore.
Well, it's erasable, so you can erase the blots.
So now, to get rid of it, I can't iron it. I can't water soluble it. It doesn't air erase. I have to use this erasing pen. Watch me erase my marks. Ready, Ed? You ready for this? Let's start with the block, because you said get rid of the big blocks. Watch.
It just makes it worse.
Okay, it's gone. No, it's finally gone.
It's not. Well, it's wet now.
Look how hard I have to work. Now y'all know I'm a friction pen kind of gal. This would be done.
Yes, but friction pen on
Nope,
some fabric.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, I'm just saying.
That's how wet I have to get this thing to get the marks out of it. And now what? I dry it with the iron or
Will the iron set the pigment in?
no, it will dry the fabric and it's
Okay.
gone. But then Becky says, I want to draw a new line because I was off just a scotch.
A scotch. I thought my brother was the only person that used that word.
So I get my pen that I really don't like anymore,
Yeah.
and I decide I want to draw a new line right next to this line. So I line it up and I go to draw it. Oh wait, it doesn't work.
Because it's wet.
No, because I've used the magic eraser. Even after it's dry, I can no longer mark in the location I just erased. Cannot.
Well,
Cannot.
that sounds like a pretty. That sounds like a problem that's pretty mild compared to Jean's story.
So what I'm telling you is,
She used it. She marked a crosshatch out, but it wasn't an iron.
oh,
it was an actual pen.
Jean! I hope you sew straight lines and see the blot. So what I'm telling you, Brent, and everybody out there, that when you see these guys, and they're everywhere right now, they're everywhere.
Who makes them? Clover.
You were supposed to read that.
Yeah.
They are not, I do not recommend them, and now I have a set. Anybody want them?
You get a.
Literally,
You get a marker. You get a marker.
the fact that I have to have two tools to do one thing
Yep.
wasn't right. But the fact that I can't even mark where I've
you-
already marked, I
Yeah.
mean, why am I erasing it? Because I
You
goofed
messed it
up and I want to
Okay.
fix it. I'm either going to take water or, my case, friction, iron. Those are my two. So anyway,
Okay.
turbo tip is
Don't buy them.
don't buy these, please. And you don't have to bring them into the store because I don't like them. But I got another one for you this week
Oh,
Ooh, bonus.
because it was on sale. And you know, Becky.
now I'm gonna have to. This is I'm gonna have to buy.
No,
Right?
no, no,
Was it on sale at the dollar store?
no. But Dana, you haven't given us a dollar store purchase in a while.
What's up with dollar store? Dollar General. Like
$1.25 now.
Yeah, but Dollar General stores are like like you just driving down the road and like there's Dollar General, and it's like where's the population to support this store? It's like in the middle of nowhere. There's a Dollar General. It always surprises me.
Okay. Can we go back to me? Because
Yeah,
I like
I was
talking
just-
about me. This is this is a project box.
I see that.
Y'all know I'm a project box kind of gal, but this is a special project box. It happens to be on sale at Joann's. They're having a big storage sale right now. I think it's 50 to 60% off. Normally, you get a double satchel like this when it's on sale, because we only buy them when they're on sale, for $19.99.
That's about right. Yeah. Okay.
And these are perfect for quilt projects. But this one is
It's huge.
also not, no, these are the double satchels.
There's something in it.
Yes, this one is the same exact price at Joann's, but it has, wait for it,
Dun, 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 dun.
a removable tray.
Ooh.
A removable tray, that's right, that ooh and ah people, that holds my what?
Oh my goodness.
Your whatever
Hi,
that was.
Adriana!
Is that a new one? With the palm trees? Did you just make that?
No, I have several with palm trees, but it fits my 12 by 12 design board and any other little project, and your current block you're working on, your little doodads and just. So if you're working on Frosty, if you're signing up for macaw, if this, even if you're doing, what's the other one? Midnight. These are something, and they're $19.99, and you can hold all your stuff. Now it also has all these dividers, which I probably would just
The
throw away because of my fabric. But some people might want them, but I don't need them. But so this is now my favorite project box.
That's thicker than a double, though.
No, it's not.
It's a double deep,
It's a double D,
which is different than a double.
which is like a double D with a drawer.
Okay.
How cool is this?
It's pretty
So
cool.
imagine you're coming to class.
They also make bins that go in that tray.
Oh, and they're stackable. Wilma
Yeah.
says they also make bins that go in here.
Yeah.
They do. And these are stackable. And they're on sale. They're normally like $40, $50.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Nice.
$39.99, but they're on sale for $19.99. And you can buy them online and get them delivered to your front door with free shipping.
Ooh.
Nice.
They also have them on Amazon.
So cool beans, right?
Yep. All right. Does that bring us up to the
Favorite
workbench?
project box. Yes.
All right, to
we're on
workbench. Workbench. Okay. Today's technical workbenchness is nothing to do with sewing machines. We're going to talk about quilts in general.
Is that a real quilt that someone brought in?
Yes, I have to fix it. I get these a lot because somebody that really doesn't know anything about quilts brings them in and says, I have this quilt that my grandmother had or my aunt had. Can you please save it?
Oh.
And so this is one of those.
And you never say no?
I usually give them an outrageous price and hope they say they don't want it done. And then, and then if they take
Are you watching?
and if they take me up on it, then it becomes
Gene,
worth our time.
40% off at Joann's. Thank you.
But
Hi,
what you-
Victoria.
What you have on an old quilt a lot of times is you'll notice there's a giant hole in that. And there's more holes over here. There's holes all over in this. See, there's holes
Dollar
there.
General's up front.
It's a very holy quilt. It's been
Yeah.
blessed by the.
Oh, it never got quilted.
Well, it was tied.
It's a quilt top.
It was quilted. I actually cut the back off so I could show this to you. So what happens is people will bring these in and say, I want my quilt to be repaired. Now what I wanted to talk about was
I didn't know you did repairs.
I try to stay away from it. So what happens is, so they want this repaired. So, everybody thinks, well, just sew some new fabric on, sew some patches on it, call it a day. Doesn't work. Because
Yeah.
this fabric ripped for a reason. And that's this same fabric over here. So you know that biblical thing, you can't put new wine in an old wine skin?
No.
You never heard that?
No.
Okay. Well, basically, yeah. But the idea is that an old wineskin wears out. You put new wine in, it's going to burst. So when you're repairing an old quilt like this, or so you want to repair an old quilt like this, you can't. Well, I mean, you can, but you can't sew patches on it or extra fabric, because all that's going to happen is where you sew new fabric onto the old fabric, it's just going to rip around the edges of the new fabric, because all the old fabric is still the same. So that brittleness and the weakness of the fabric that's in there is just going to spread to somewhere else. So it doesn't make any sense to try and sew patches on an old quilt. The best thing to do is hit the back with some sort of fusible.
That's what I was going to suggest.
What we're going to do to fix this is we're actually going to go to.
I would try
We're
and get it
just-
as close as you can with some fusible.
Yeah, we're
on the
gonna
back.
put this like this rip here. We're gonna put it as close as we can together.
Yeah.
And iron some fusible on the back of it.
Yeah.
And that's all we're gonna do for a repair.
That
Then we're
just
gonna throw it.
stabilizes.
Then we're gonna throw it on the quilting machine and quilt the whole thing.
Yeah.
And when we quilt it, we're also gonna choose a pattern that's fairly dense, so that if there are rips, they don't spread beyond what we do for quilt stitching.
Oh yeah, that's.
But when you have old quilts that you want to repair, keep in mind it's old fabric. And if the fabric is ripped, you're just going to sew new fabric onto it. It's just going to rip around the new fabric. So a lot of times...
Sewing a fusible underneath it, like a one-to-under or something, will actually help stabilize the old fabric.
And with a
well.
wonder, what you can do is like a wonder under or the fusible, the woven fusible.
Oh, 101?
Yeah, that works well too, because you've got that layer of fabric on it instead of just having like a misty fuse or something.
Yeah, misty
But
fuse.
all we're going to do is we're just going to fuse some
this
stuff to
is
the back of this.
well-loved.
And then we're just going to quilt it up. Because the problem with, like I said, the problem with an old quilt, if you're trying to repair it, is
Sweet.
it's all old. Where every rip is old fabric. So that's got a lot of old fabric.
Would you consider just interfacing the whole thing
You could,
to prevent further?
if you wanted to go to that kind of trouble.
Well, I'm thinking because the fabric is quite.
But
thick.
that's why that's why we're going to quilt it after, because we're going to put that to
But I'm
to
afraid
hold-
that could give another tear.
It could,
So-
but it's not going to tear beyond
That's
the quilting.
me. I do overkill.
But,
I would interface the entire thing.
Yes,
that
but-
fabric is very thin.
But what happens is, so if you want to...
Changes the hand of it. I know.
Well, not just that, but so if you had a quilt pattern like this on there,
Yeah.
if you want to zoom in on that. So let's say, for example, we quilted up with something like this. You get a tear right here,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to go past the quilting. So by doing a fairly dense quilting pattern, it's going to keep the tears from really starting, because the thread is actually stronger than everything else. We're going to put a batting in it and a good back on it. So anything that does want to tear will be limited to where the quilting's at. So when
Oh,
we
because
repair,
that was tied.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
You
when
said
we
it was tied.
so when we quilt it, and that's the other reason why you want to quilt, you have your stuff machine quilted, because it will last longer. Because machine quilting, if it does start to rip, limits the size of the damage. Whereas if it's been tied or not quilted, that tear just continues until it is too far. That's why a lot of charities won't take anything unless it's been machine quilted now, because it can be washed and taken care of, and they don't have to worry about it falling apart. So yeah, that's today's tech, is just
That's
old
it.
fabric.
Yep.
If you're trying to repair it, you're better off just fusing something to the back of it and moving on, because like I said, it's all old fabric. So anything you sew to it is just going to rip around the edges.
Cool beans.
Yes, 40% off at Joann's
in a tray.
for old
It's
fabric.
a deal. Okay.
So that's all I've got. I'm
Cool
done.
beans.
Now I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
To our learning segment, which hopefully I brought in the other dream machine.
And it says Dreamy Quilts.
Oh, and I'm
Does Eddie have it on here over here?
I've got my
Dreamy Quilts. Look at that. Oh, it just changed, Eddie. Now it says Embroidery.
Wow. Okay, so here's a quandary. And this is a quandary even if I'm bringing my quilt into you.
A quandary.
A quandary.
As in a question?
A decision making. Okay, here is a block that was meant to go into a quilt
Mm-hmm.
that for reasons that you can probably tell,
For reasons.
I'm not putting it in the quilt.
I can't tell. I like it. What's wrong with it?
I have too much puckering.
Oh. Only in your world.
Yeah.
Looks good to me.
No, I've since solved that. So
Okay.
But I said, oh my gosh,
It's really cute.
it would make a gorgeous pillow.
Oh, yes, it would. Make a pillow. Little throw
Because
pillow.
and I can play with my machine.
Throw pillows just
Because
getting
how
red.
would you quilt this?
I wouldn't.
Picture there's a block in the quilt like this. How would you quilt it?
Well, I can do what they call a mask
Eddie,
and
can
sew
you
around
do
it.
it top down? How would you quilt that, people?
No, you can mask it on a machine and just quilt around the whole thing. Mm-hmm. The reason you wouldn't want to do
You
that,
wouldn't do that.
I
You
could,
You could,
but it
but you don't,
I don't because it's a lot of extra work.
and you don't like to do it.
I mean, I will for a price.
Oh,
Everything-
you
every-
will.
Everything can be bought for a price.
Okay.
But I will do it. I've done it for people. But if your entire quilt is nothing but this, I tend not to. But if it's just a couple sections, yeah, we can mask it and call it a day.
Okay.
But keep in mind, I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but
no,
I'll
I
talk
want
about it.
you go for it.
The problem with masking this,
Yeah.
if you do, is you're just going to go around the edges. Now, if you ever look at a package of batting, there's a number on that package of batting that says how close you can quilt this, and how close the farthest apart you can quilt the material. That's important to pay attention to because if you don't, like cotton, I think is like 8 inches. Mm-hmm. So if your quilting is more than
18 inches.
yeah,
square.
if your quilting is more than 8 inches apart, it's going to shred. So that would be something I would take into consideration. If you're just going to mass this out, that's fine. But you're more than 8 inches from there to there, and for cotton batting, you're going to get shredded batting in the middle there. So that would be a concern on something like that. That's what I would. That's how I would talk you out of masking. Because long term, you're going to run into shredding and sagging because the batting's you've quilted too far apart on the batting. Polyester, I think, is 10 inches. You can get a little bit further apart with poly and some blends, but you're not going to get more than 10 inches. I've not seen one that'll let you do more than 10 inches and not shred.
But if
Yes.
you have a brother
You do, yeah.
embroidery machine, you have another option.
You're going to just stitch it again?
No. Brent, you're going to show people, you're going to remind people how easy it is to
do-
scan.
Oh yeah, custom quilting is the other.
Uh-huh.
I think we did this once with Lynn, and it was a lot of fun.
We are
Me,
going
me,
to.
yeah, me and Lynn Pickle,
I
we
am
did this.
purposely going to have you scan in a section that's blank and a section that's now. I am not going to actually let him stitch on this, people. And I probably don't need to explain that. I'm going to let him design it, but you are not. There's no thread in this machine, okay? He can't ruin it on me.
I wouldn't ruin it on you. I mean,
My
maybe.
first thought, Brent, was
Mhm.
I'm going to stipple around this and just go in and use my eraser
your
to
marker,
erase.
your awesome new marker.
No. My eraser in my design center so I don't stipple, but
Yeah.
like I want to stipple a little in the trees
Yeah.
for the very reason
Yeah.
you said so.
Yeah.
Right? That
Yeah.
was one of my thoughts. Another thought was to bring in a custom design up here and a custom design out here and then actually do some line swirly swirls.
Okay.
You're going to show us how to do it.
Okay.
Do you like that, guys?
Yay!
How would you do it? Oh, the code. You have to buy it. Did you find out how much it costs?
Oh, I forgot to look on.
You have to buy it, Victoria.
I will look that up.
But good question. I did some research. She's talking about the quilt design program from Brother. It's actually came out a year ago. Thank you for reminding me. I wanted to cover that. It came out a year ago, and it hasn't taken off. They've got a big push on it right now, which is why we're hearing about it again.
Well, you know why they push like software like that?
I
right?
have to be honest with you. I am an EQ person, electric quilt
Yeah.
lover, and if I were interested in buying a quilting design piece of software, I would strongly urge you to look at Electric Quilt first before you buy anything.
They're one of the original ones, and they've done a really nice job of staying
Key
on top of
key
it.
issues. One, there's a ton of support out there for it.
You
A
got this thing
ton.
done up?
All over the place, both learning and packages to add on to it. We covered one of the
Yeah.
packages once, the Dear Jane blocks.
Yeah.
It's very well supported. So I would ask you to check out EQ if you're very interested. What I saw on the Brother software was it's just not industry. The industry Quilt Pro, okay. The industry just hasn't really bought it, and I'm trying to be nice because you're a Brother dealer, but
Well,
I don't
You can
see
be honest.
it. I don't see it outdoing the base that Electric Quilt has. Electric Quilt is very well established and very well liked by a lot of people. So the support group is there, and their ability to keep up with the software and add-ins all the time is tremendous. So I actually feel, oh, you do? I actually feel like I would recommend you shop Electric Quilt. Now, Quilt Pro, Victoria, I can't speak to Quilt Pro because I ended up with Electric Quilt and have loved it. So
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm going to stay there.
One of the things about retail that you run into, and this is probably why Brother's pushing it right now, is my suspicion is with the supply chain issues, they're
Jean, you're going to crosshatch over the embroidery? She was going to, Jean, I have not finished that one, over the river. Good for you. She's saying she's going to crosshatch over the embroidery. I can't do that.
All right. Well, let's show them how it's done
That's
real quick.
interesting. Good. Well, watch this, Jean.
Oh, well, hold on. I thought I had that set up before Eddie. Oh, there we go. How's that look? How's that look? Good enough? Good enough. All right, so we're going to go into my design center. Yay! And then in my design center, all I'm going to do is come up here and hit scan. And I'm going to hit OK. And now it's just going to scan what's in my hoop.
Now, on the Luminaire, you'll get choices
And
of
now make
scanning.
sure when you're doing this, you're not putting your hands underneath the throat
Yeah,
to hold stuff down, because then you'll have pictures of your hand in front of everything.
which doesn't work. On the Luminaire, you're going to see 3 choices of scanning.
Yeah.
You're going to pick the first one.
Yeah, and I always start with scan on the Dream Machine, and the Luminaire is the same thing, because you can always go through and turn the scan into whatever the other option was later.
Mm-hmm.
The getting the scan into the system is the first thing. Okay. So it's recognizing. Yay! So now you can see on here I have the what's in my hoop scanned. And you'll notice it's chopped off a little there because that's beyond the size of the hoop. If I had a 9.5 by 14, that scan would go all the way.
I only brought
we
it
have
8 by 8.
Yeah, 8 by 8. Now it's kind of this is an important thing here. Is this button?
Mm-hmm.
You see how it makes it darker? So this
That's
fade
your background.
your background. So we don't. So I like to run it about here so I can see. Oh, come on! Don't tell me it just froze on me again. There we go.
No,
'Cause I have
no,
fat
it's a
fingers.
different machine.
Yeah. So I usually like to leave it about here because that way I can see what I'm going to draw on there. So now one of the
We have lots of options.
we did a whole class on this. We should do that class again because we actually get into all this stuff. So one of the things here is we're just going to do a line, and we're
Slow
going to
down. Explain what you're doing.
Okay.
I'm doing a line.
So this up here is going to be line. So if we're drawing, this here is to paint stuff. We don't want to paint things. We want to set boundaries of what we're going to do.
The first little section, it's got a little square
Right
around
there?
it, has to do with lines. The second set has to do with shapes.
Yeah, so
That's how I like to
Yeah,
think
this
of
is
it.
line and this is area is how I like to think of it.
And
this
the
is going to be the
below
line.
is on
These are
works
tools.
for both.
These are your
Works for both.
tools. Line and area. So when you think in terms of that, this is going to take care of stuff in between the lines. This is going to make the lines. We want to make the lines first, so we have something to to bound the area, as it were. So and I'm just gonna
Yep.
do this real quick, and
There's
it's
a
gonna be
stylus on the side.
yeah.
If you
I'm
want
just gonna fat finger it.
Okay.
I'm gonna zoom in because that's what I
I
like to
can't
do.
find my favorite stylus. When I
And so I'm gonna
packed
start with these
everything,
mountains
I
right
can't
here.
Find it, but I will.
So these are mountains here. I'm just gonna take my finger and I'm gonna draw the mountain.
No, I don't want to quilt right on the mountain.
Well,
I would do something in the mountain.
I'm gonna do something in the mountain. So I went around the
Okay.
mountain. So I
All right.
used my line to create a line. Then I'm gonna come over here to my area, and I'm going to choose a fill. Let's say, for example, we want to put some bricks in the mountain. We could do bricks,
We could.
but I don't think
I
people
wouldn't.
want to do bricks. So we could do like this little shattered glass thing would be kind of cool in the mountain, or no?
Just do it.
Okay.
I
So
don't like
I'm gonna
any of those ideas.
I'm gonna hit OK, and I'm gonna do it in red.
I
just so
want
it
you to
shows-
show a squirrely pew in the next one.
Okay, so then
That's
I'm
how
gonna
I
hit select.
would-
Okay,
Quilt it.
and I've got that, and I'm gonna hit OK, and then I'm just gonna do this fill function and fill in the mountain. So now the mountain is gonna be quilted with that,
Right.
but I'm zoomed in at 400%. So let me zoom out so you can kind of see what that's gonna look like.
Well, you can change all that in the next screen. Can you show making a squirrely cue on maybe the snowbank below it?
Like down up here, or
No,
here.
below it.
You want to do like a
Yeah.
little line.
Yeah, in the middle of it. Just because my purpose at this point isn't to take away from the embroidery, it's to quilt.
Yeah, well, this would quilt in. That's why I did the fill, to fill into the mountain. So we're gonna do like a little.
Just so, yeah.
Okay. And we're gonna go, yay! Add
Yeah.
some texture to the snow. We'll do
Yeah.
some texture up here.
Yeah, that's it. Now I can either use a invisible thread or a colored thread.
If you're doing this,
Anchored it down.
keep in mind that this sets your line properties.
Mm-hmm.
So that line I just laid down is gonna be a satin
Yeah,
stitch.
you need to
probably
change
don't
it
want to
to-
do that. You
no.
probably want to either do a single, or this one comes out nice too. It's one of my favorites if I'm gonna do like a quilting line. Does like
Oh,
a
that
triple
is a
stitch.
nice. That is a
It's
nice
a nice
one.
triple stitch.
Yeah.
It kind of has like a handwork idea look to it.
Yeah, that is a nice.
And
one.
so, well, let me just change that. So since we're
So
doing this.
I can literally go in and customize it. But now, Brent, little area by little area.
Yeah.
And truthfully, when you go over to the design center, over to the embroidery section, it's all set up to go. You're not relining anything.
Yeah, you don't want to
You
take this out
fly
of the
right
hoop.
over
Yeah.
to embroidery, and it's going to stitch that.
Now,
What
what's
you
in-
see is what you get.
Now, what's important is I'm going to come back down here and watch as I fade that out. See what's left for lines. That's your
that's what's
actual
gonna
sewing.
quilt.
That's
Yep.
the sewing that's going to happen.
Yep.
And as long as we don't take this out of the hoop, that will stitch onto that exactly where we just put it.
Right. Now, can you do me a favor?
Mhm.
Can you undo it and bring in a rectangle or square that covers some of the sky and the folks down below?
Yeah. Oh, I'll just leave that stuff on there and bring in a rectangle. How's that sound?
Okay.
So we're going to come in here to shapes, and then we're going to do
Yep.
a rectangle. Hit OK.
This is that second group of 4.
Yep. So I got a square.
Make it bigger.
What, we want it bigger?
Yeah, so,
So I'm gonna
use
go
the
to
size
size.
button. We're going to
So
make
we're
it
gonna-
bigger.
Now, the minute we stop working on it, it flattens and you won't be able to come back to this. So make sure
Yeah,
you get to
there
the
you
size
go.
you want it.
That's good.
That's as big as it'll go in
That's
that hoop.
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
We're going to take that.
We hit
And,
OK.
Yep. And now I want you to fill it with stippling.
Okay.
So
So
he's using
I'm going to
his
come over here, and
the
then I'm going to
second paint bucket,
and then I'm going to fill it with just a regular stipple.
regular
I'm
stipple.
going to hit. Oh, I'm going to make this one blue. Blue.
And later on, we can change the stippling size and all that stuff, but I just want him to show you it filled.
Yep.
Yeah, now that would be not how I want it before I stitched it out. But here's what's cool. Now take your eraser
Yeah.
and erase where you don't want stippling.
So we don't want stippling down here.
And this will work on any of your fill
Yeah,
patterns.
that's actually a good idea. This is an easy way to do it.
See, don't you like my idea?
Yeah.
This will work on any of your fill patterns.
Yeah,
Now in
so-
the luminaire, oh my goodness, you have a lot of fill
Oh
patterns.
yeah, I have a lot more options on
Also,
Luminaire.
after doing this, we will have the opportunity to fine tune the size of the stippling and decide if we want to close off the line or not.
Yes. Now keep in mind, if you do this on the Dream Machine, it's not going to be nearly as nice as the Luminaire for fine tuning sizes,
Yeah.
because you're not going to actually see the changes. You're just going to have to guess. Whereas the Luminaire will display the changes.
Yeah. But is that cool?
And so then.
And then after I erased all that, if I wanted to draw in a few lines, I could.
Yeah.
And if I didn't want to, I wouldn't have to. And now I haven't gone over my embroidery. So, Jean, I don't know if that'll make you can put your crosshatch
Now,
in and then clean
keep
up your
now,
beautiful embroidery
Keep
work.
in mind, though, one of the things you have to keep in mind, this is only a section of your table runner. So if you
Yeah.
do this,
Yeah,
lining this up to the next block.
is a piece of cake because I'm going to scan it in and I'm going to see the quilting I've already done.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's something to keep in mind, that you have to do this in chunks.
You do have to do it in chunks.
So I'm just going to go
Yes.
next so you can kind of see the idea here. So
Now,
see
you wanna
down
show
here,
how to change
yeah,
the
see down
size?
here changes your sizing and whatnot. Like I said, you're not going to see on a Dream Machine. It's not going to show me the changes, but this spacing, if
See,
I
that's
space
why
it,
I love my Luminaire.
so I'm going to hit
It's
set,
live.
and that didn't change anything on a Luminaire. That would show the change.
Yeah, yeah. You have to go to embroidery
Yeah.
to see the changes.
Yeah, so if
And then you
preview-
write them down so you don't forget them.
And then I go to
But
preview. And
It was
then
just something I was thinking about when I
so
started to
that's
do this.
that's
'cause,
exactly what it's going to look like stitched out.
Yeah, and I may decide I want stippling to carry down in here. I may not.
Yeah.
I may want just lines in it. But I just thought it was a really cool,
That's-
easy way to say, no, stay away from this, please.
Yep, you can in the design center. You got a lot of options in there. That was just a kind of a quick way to do it. And experiment with it, because you can try everything you want. When you get to preview mode, if you don't like the way that looks, because if you look at the screen here,
Yeah.
this is exactly what
See,
it's gonna
that looks really good, though.
That's exactly what it's going to look like when we stitch it out. And so if you don't
That
like
you're in embroidery mode now, right?
yes, if I hit set,
Set. If you do set.
I
set.
can still return at this point, but I will hit
Go
set.
hit set.
Okay.
See, this is really
see,
what's going to happen.
And that's what it's going to look like, because we don't have the image behind it anymore. That's what it's going to look like.
That's what's really going to stitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I thought it was kind of cool.
So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
More things to do with your machine.
Yep. So, I guess
Maybe
that's
I'll-
it for today,
Maybe I'll
right?
make a pillow yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stitch it out because that'll get me in trouble.
No, you're not allowed to.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks
We're
for joining
actually
us for another.
finishing up early. Good. Well, that's a good time.
Yeah, I think it's a good time. I think, and
It
if this works for you, we might have to.
We'll have a powwow after.
Yeah, we might. This might be the new normal, but we'll keep you posted.
I don't like the 8:30s. We
Yeah.
already talked about that.
Oh, look at that! We got a bot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Join us again next week. I don't know if it's going to be at 8:30 or at noon. We'll let you
Did
know.
the erasing erase the red on the mountain?
Yes.
Yes.
He erased
Yes.
the red on the mountain.
Yes. When you did the erase,
did.
yes. So you would want to go back and do the mountain after the fact.
Yes.
Yeah,
I,
you'd wanna-
I
you'd
would.
wanna-
I would have done my stippling, erasing, and then
then
gone in and added
fine-tuning,
my
yep.
fine tuning.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Good question, Jean.
Yep.
That's how I would do it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. If you have any
All
other
right.
questions, feel free to call. Drop us a line. Shoot us an email. And join us here next week.
And
Yeah.
thank you to our new subs. Yay!
Yay!
400,
And
yay!
look forward to some more tapes on some of the classes.
Yes, and we are going to try and get
so
Frosty.
zoom in.
Yeah.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
A link that you can if you can get on.
Yeah, you can get some
and
help
see
for
the
it. Yeah, we're going
class.
to try and do
Yeah.
some more of that. Yep. So thanks for watching. Remember, sew on and be excellent to each other.
Toodles.